Hi there. Today I want to take on a topic that is near and dear to my heart because we get so many questions about this at Tap the Potential. And I want to talk about how to be a savvy investor in yourself. And we don't get that particular question at Tap the Potential, but that's what all the questions that we get really center around that theme. And so a lot of the questions that we hear often from our clients and prospective clients are, should I invest in coaching? How can I move forward with this? I'm struggling to pay for it. I want to grow my owner's pay and profit and the revenue of my business. And yet I'm struggling to pay myself. I'm struggling to be profitable. So how on earth can I invest in coaching? And so today that's what I want to take on, is this topic of really how to be a savvy investor in yourself, how to determine if you'll benefit from coaching, and if you will benefit from coaching, where do you get the money? How do you pay for coaching, and how do you make this work while you're growing your owner's pay and profit? Because let's face it, if cash flow is a challenge, it's really hard to figure out how to move forward with coaching when you know you need it. And so let's dive into that. And I want to start with giving you a framework to think about the questions that you're asking. So, if the solutions that are showing up in your world, in your business, and in your life are not what you would like, so if you continue to have ongoing struggles with team members, with cash flow, with profitability, not paying yourself enough or not paying yourself at all, then it's time to ask better questions, because the questions we ask determine the solutions we find. And so, a great question to ask yourself is, would you benefit from coaching? Not, can I afford coaching? If you're asking yourself, can I afford coaching, and you're using that as your parameter or to decide whether or not you're going to move forward with coaching, you're kind of missing the bigger picture here. So let's really start with, would you benefit from coaching? And when I think about who benefits from coaching, what I notice is that the people who are coachable benefit from coaching. So if it's important to you to shorten your learning curve, to prevent pitfalls and challenges, and when things don't go as planned in your business, to have thinking partners to help you get back on track, and you're open to hearing different perspectives, yes, you would benefit from coaching. And I'll tell you from my own experience, I've had a coach most years that I've been in business, and I've been in business now going on close to 18 years. And the only times I haven't had a coach are the times when I was searching for the right coach and the right person or the group of people to support me in the direction I wanted to head, in alignment with my values and how I felt it was important to run the business. So there have been a few years in recent years past where I haven't had a coach because I couldn't find the right group. Now I have that, and I've been in coaching now going on 2 or 3 years. And going back to my very first coach that I hired, I went through life coach training. This was years ago. And I was blown away being in a classroom full of people wanting to be coaches. And when they opened up the discussion about hiring a mentor coach to help you learn the ropes of having a business, most of those other coaches in training had no interest in paying for a mentor coach. They wanted to figure it out and do it on their own. And I just was blown away, because I thought, okay, wait a minute, you're wanting to be a coach, but you're not willing to invest in your own coaching? Something doesn't seem right here. That seems like a disconnect. And that's how I actually came up with one of our very first immutable laws at Tap the Potential: is we walk our talk. I feel it's so important, if we're going to coach business owners, that we have been through everything that we're taking you through. And that has just been so invaluable as I've built Tap the Potential over the years, because there have been some really interesting programs that have been put in front of me that I could have offered at Tap the Potential, that on the surface look like, yeah, this would really help our clients. But then as I started engaging in those programs myself, I was like, oh no, this won't work, or this isn't in alignment with what's going to serve our clients best. And so this walk our talk is a big immutable law at Tap the Potential. We won't roll out anything at Tap the Potential until we have tried it ourselves and found it to be something that's valuable and really makes an impact for a business owner with respect to improving the quality of your life and the quality of your business. And it has to go hand in hand. So if it affects one area but doesn't impact the other area, we won't bring it out at Tap the Potential and include it as part of our service offerings. So back to, would you benefit from coaching? If you believe that you're the greatest investment you can make, and if you put that on a 1 to 10 scale, with 10, yes, I fully believe that if I'm going to invest, I'm going to invest in me first because I'm the greatest investment I can make, then you would benefit from coaching. So if you know that you will go into a program and work with the coaches and be open to feedback and want to hear how others have done it and what's the most effective strategies, you're a great investment for coaching. If you have been in programs in the past and you have been disappointed in the lack of attention, the individualized attention, and being in a group with a lot of people and just feeling like somebody's giving you, training that's kind of cookie cutter, that's not us at Tap the Potential. And we actually, in the last few months, we've been paying attention to who's been showing up in our world wanting to invest in our services. And it's really interesting that we get a lot of coaching refugees, meaning business owners who have had bad experiences with other programs and with other coaches, who come to us and are really impressed by this unique blend that we have of one-to-one coaching and small group. So our Better Business, Better Life program is primarily a small group coaching program. We include a lot of one-to-one attention in the onboarding as we're bringing you on and we're creating your action plan and we're doing a profit assessment with you and analyzing expenses. We're looking at your personality. We're looking at your leadership. We get feedback from your key team members. All of that is with me and one of our strategists. And it's highly individualized. And then when we have a clear action plan created for you, then you move into our small group coaching program. And that's where we help you from week to week, month to month, move through your action plan. We troubleshoot strategy with you. We hold you accountable to make sure you're moving forward. And then on a quarterly basis, you're meeting again with us one-to-one to make sure that you're making progress on your action plan, and we support you in setting your business and personal goals for the quarter. So that's why I say, if you've had bad experiences with other coaching programs in the past, take a look at what we're doing at Tap the Potential, because we're seeing a lot of people who've had those bad experiences say, wow, this is so refreshing. Like, you guys have made this really simple. You give us a lot of support and I'm actually making progress. The other thing to know, though, is if you have had experiences where you've signed up for programs in the past and you haven't followed through for whatever reason, before we would even bring you into our program, we would be asking you about, well, what went on where you didn't follow through? What got in the way? Because we want to understand if it was something going on inside of you, like gremlins or self-sabotaging behavior. We want to understand that before we even bring you into the program, because we don't want to create a situation where you're not going to follow through and complete our program, because that creates a bad experience for us. It creates a bad experience for you. It damages the reputation of our program. So we're very careful about that as we're bringing you in. And so oftentimes what we're finding is when people have had bad experiences and they haven't followed through in the past, it's because they were in a program that was not a good fit for their needs. And there's a unique kind of business owner that we attract at Tap the Potential. We attract the business owners who are really dedicated to being their best. And it doesn't mean that you have to be better than someone else. It just means that you want to continually grow and improve. You're not content with everything just being status quo and okay. Like, you have this drive to just keep learning and making things better. And you want to create opportunities, not just for yourself, but you also see that by owning a business, you have that opportunity to create opportunities for others on your team. And the business owners that we have at Tap the Potential really love helping one another. And so it's not the business owner who says, I'm just here to learn it all for myself and I want to make my business better. And I don't want to spend time with other business owners. So many of the people that we work with at Tap the Potential love sharing, learning, and supporting each other. And so if you're looking at investing in yourself and you're that kind of person, you're probably going to get a good return on your investment with us at Tap the Potential. The other thing to think about, though, is how committed are you to creating a business that supports your life vision? And so that means getting clear on what it is. Why are you even doing this? All this effort that you're putting into your business, why are you even doing that? Because if you're not clear on that, there's a lot of effort and a lot of heartache that goes into successfully growing a business. And having the tenacity to stick through all of that and to go through the transformations that you have to go through in order for your business to grow, you have to just look at, am I a person who's open to those kinds of transformations and wants support as I go through them? That's where, if you can answer yes to that, you're looking at, yes, you can be you can be a really good investment. And making that investment in yourself could be very worthwhile. As we bring people in at Tap the Potential, we're evaluating whether or not you can really get a return on your investment from working with us. So we'll do a consultation with you. You'll take our Better Business, Better Life assessment, and we'll also walk you through a profit audit of your business to identify what is the existing profit potential in your business. So, in other words, if we were not focused at all on growing the business, we were just looking at the business as it is, can we see that we could create a 3-to-1 return on investment for you with what you're investing in working with us? Would it show up 3 times over in your business over the next year? And that's our minimum. We won't bring anyone in if we can't identify that profit potential exists within your business. A lot of times our clients are getting more than that 3-to-1, but that's our criteria to determine whether or not we're going to be a good fit for what you're looking for. And so just think about that for yourself when you're thinking about, well, what am I willing to invest in coaching? And if I'm going to, what kind of return do I want to get? Because there is a point where if you invest too much, you won't get that minimum of a 3-to-1 return on investment. So at Tap the Potential, we've really strived to optimize all the costs of delivery, because we're a high touch service-based business. So we have significant costs of delivering this level of service. So we've really tried to optimize what we charge for coaching with the return on investment that we know that you can get out of the services with us based on where we're focused with you on your business. And the Tap the Potential solution is designed specifically for business owners who are at the point where you're succeeding in making sales. And because you're succeeding in making sales, you're experiencing a capacity issue. And so the name of the business is Tap the Potential. One of the things that I know is there is tremendous potential in that kind of business. And there's significant opportunities for us to deliver more than a 3-to-1 return on investment in a business that has that issue going on, because the entire Tap the Potential solution is about streamlining the business, reducing inefficiency, and growing the profit and owner's pay while freeing up your time. And so as you're looking at, well, would you benefit from coaching? Another question to consider is, how much longer are you willing to put up with, tolerate, and deal with the current challenges that you have. If you've been dealing with these challenges for a while now and what you've tried isn't working, there's a point where it's really important to be honest with yourself that, you know what, doing it on my own is not, I'm just spinning my wheels. I'm not getting anywhere. And the other consideration is if you're getting bogged down in indecision, like you're trying to decide to do things differently, but you find yourself slipping into old patterns. You have choices in front of you, but you don't know which choice to take. And so you're just kind of spinning your wheels. There's a lot of lost opportunity that's going on while you're spinning your wheels. So a really important question to ask yourself is, how much longer am I willing to spin my wheels? And if you're in a situation where you have this capacity issue, you're making sales, you have opportunities coming your way, and you're actually turning work down because you don't have the team and the structure that you need to be able to deliver, there's a lot of opportunity being lost. So you have significant opportunity cost. And so sometimes when people are asking the question of, can I afford coaching? I flip it around on them and I say, well, can you afford not to be in coaching? Because if you're losing opportunities, and I think what's important to consider, so I think about a time when I invested in coaching about 8 or 9 years ago in my business, where I was growing my team and I was really moving from doing everything myself to bringing on a team to support me. And I was trying to figure it out on my own. I hadn't found the right coach yet. And once I got that right coach and I started working with this coach, within a few months, my monthly revenue was doubling. So that was like, whoa. And I thought, wow, so I just spent 6 to 9 months looking for this coach. So that's 6 to 9 months. It took me longer than it needed to take me for my revenue to start doubling. And then from there, I had to quickly optimize how we were running the business, because just because the revenue doubles doesn't mean the profit doubles, doesn't mean the owner's pay doubles. And one of the areas where I see so many business owners lose efficiency very quickly is when you start bringing on team, you don't hire the right people, you don't have the structure and the program, the project management systems that you need. And so just inefficiency just balloons in that business all of a sudden. And what looked like, oh, the revenue's going up, so my owner's pay and profit is sure to follow. No, that wasn't the case. And so when I've created the Tap the Potential solution, one of the things I've put significant attention around is making sure that as the revenue in the business starts to grow, that the profit and owner's pay is there, that efficiency gets put into place very quickly so that you protect that profit and owner's pay. And so if you're listening to all of this and you're thinking, okay, yes, I get it. I don't want to spin my wheels any longer because I'm missing out on what could be going on in the business if I had good support, and I could be doing things a lot faster and getting to efficiency a lot faster. And you're deciding, yes, I want to move forward. And then you're saying, well, okay, I know I want to move forward. Another good question to ask yourself is, how do I make this investment work? And another variation of that question is, what options do I have now so that I could move forward with coaching, get the help I need as soon as possible, and do it in a way that my owner's pay and profit grows over the next year? So I want to share with you how most people pay for coaching. And this is a question that comes up a lot. Like, what if I'm struggling with cash flow, where do I even find this money? So I want to talk real honestly with you about my own experience first, and then I'll share with you what I've seen within Tap the Potential and the people that we've helped over the years. So sometimes people have the money saved up and they come into coaching and pay in full right then because they see the investment and they see the opportunity and they're like, yes, I know this is going to work, so I'm going to move forward. I've done that when I've invested in coaching. Sometimes I've had the money saved up in my profit and owner's pay account, and I just said, I know that this next step is going to increase my peace of mind. It's going to take stress off of me because I will have someone who has been there and done that, showing me what to do, giving me options and guiding me through this uncharted territory. So it always, in my mind, it always comes down to, is this going to make my life easier? And my life's pretty complex with all my responsibilities outside of work. So anything that makes business growing easier for me, and I've been sure that this program actually gets results, then yes, I've decided I'm going to move forward with this. And then it's just a matter of, I got to figure out where the money is. Where's my money that I'm going to use for this investment in myself? And so I encourage you to kind of take that perspective, like, is this investment going to make your life easier? And does this program that I'm looking at deliver results? So at Tap the Potential, this is why we love to share case studies, success stories, testimonials, so that it builds your confidence that, hey, it's not just Dr. Sabrina on this podcast talking about, getting clients more time for what matters most and more money in their bank account than ever, but there's actual results here that are happening. And so I always like to look at the other people who have gone through a program. Are they getting those results? And are those results that I would want to have for myself as I'm making that decision? And then I start looking for, where do I get the money? Where's my money that I'm going to use to invest in this program? And sometimes it has been a combination of owner's pay, profit, and operating expenses. So for those of you who have Profit First in place in your business, these different accounts. And so a lot of times when we have people who have Profit First in place, you have the perspective that, well, I'm supposed to be cutting expenses. So how do I even think about adding an expense, coaching, when I'm supposed to be cutting expenses because I can't hit the allocation percentages for profit and owner's pay? So again, I go back to, for myself, if I'm struggling to hit these percentages that I want to hit, the target allocation percentage for profit, owner's pay, and operating expenses, there's opportunity there that I could benefit from coaching. Number one, that's one of the biggest indicators that, yes, you could benefit from coaching. But also in terms of your free time, if you are wanting to free up your time, if you are at your own personal capacity, that's another indicator you need to invest in coaching and find some ways to free yourself up, because chances are you're focusing on things in your business that are not the highest value activities. And when you work with a coach, you learn where to focus, where to get your $10,000 an hour activities happening in the business. So oftentimes coaching is paid for through a combination of what you're paying yourself, the profit in the business, and some from operating expenses. I've come to think about at Tap the Potential having like a professional development account, which is carved out of our operating expenses. And so some of my coaching comes from that professional development account, but not all of it, because I'm really looking at, when I invest in myself for coaching, I'm investing in myself. I want to be a better human being. I want to be a better business leader. And so I know that the coaching is going to make my life better. And so I think about that as a benefit of being an owner of this business, that I have money in my owner's pay account that I utilize for that. And the same for profit, because profit is our return for the entrepreneurial risk that we bear. So when I use a portion of what's in the profit account, I'm reinvesting in myself, because I'm going to create a greater and greater return on the business through what I learn. And sometimes we have people who pay with ACH on a monthly payment plan. We have other people who utilize a credit card and who do a monthly payment plan. We do incentivize people. So if you're paying in full, you get a 10% savings. So that's a great thing. And we also want to encourage you to save as much as possible in your business. And so credit card payments have extra fees associated that we have to pass on to you. So we always say, whenever possible, set it up as ACH so you don't have all these extra fees going on that you're dealing with. And when you're looking at coming in and you're going on a monthly payment plan, I think one of the considerations is, can I sustain this monthly payment plan for the next few months and feel fairly confident in that? And also have the confidence that you're going to work with us intensively in the program so that we can support you in generating more revenue, owner's pay, and profit through the year, and that should start increasing in the first few months with us. So that means you have to say to yourself, yes, I'm 100% committed. I'm going to throw myself all in. I'm doing this. I'm going to benefit from what Tap the Potential is delivering to me, because that means it'll get easier and easier to make those payments as the months with us go by, because you are getting more and more efficient in your business. And so I want to walk you through using the Tap the Potential solution where those efficiencies start to get created in the business. So step one in the Tap the Potential solution is to put profit first in place, to design your business to be sustainably profitable. That creates parameters. And we want to have those parameters in place because they're guardrails for future decision making and future strategic decisions that are being made. And then we look at expense cutting. So we will do an expense review with you, and we will go through and look at what expenses are not serving the sweet spot as we know it, and your vision of where you want to take the business. Oftentimes there are expenses that have crept in there that we can help you cut. And we know, because we've looked at so many expenses with so many small business owners, we know where to help you find expenses that will be cut, and that those expenses can be reallocated. I will tell you that one of the first places that most business owners don't look when it comes to cutting expenses is looking at your existing team. And oftentimes there are team members who are great for the business maybe a few years ago at the level that it was a few years ago. And as the business has started to grow, they are not positioned to take the business to the next level. So those are your kind of B players. They're set steady and solid, but they're not going to go where you need them to go. And those are people that you don't necessarily want to cut right away, but you want to kind of look at, all right, down the road, I need to have A players. I need to have people who can take us where we want to go and who aren't mired in how we have done things in the past and not able to break free from that. And then you have your C and D players, your team members that you've brought on because you needed someone to get some of the work done. And you're getting, really, if you're honest, about 2 days worth of work out of them in a 5-day work week. Those are places where you're losing a lot of money. So there's your payroll costs just for paying them to show up and work, but they're also making mistakes and rework. So there's a lot of intangible hidden expenses that you can't necessarily look at them and say they caused this, but you can see, oh my gosh, we have so many mistakes and so much rework going on. And it does seem related to these team members who aren't following directions. They're not keeping up with the changes that we're making. And we're continuing to have issues, or they need a lot of coaching and support, a lot of extra time from you to get the results that you need from them. And so that's an area where there's a lot of inefficiency, and you want to make changes there as quickly as possible. And at Tap the Potential, when we're working with you and we're looking at, okay, we want to make sure your owner's pay and profit is growing, a lot of times it means we really have to look at your existing team and make sure that your team is bringing you a return on investment, and that every person on the team is prepared to go in the direction that you need to go. And so we want to assist you in navigating that transition, because if you get stuck, if you get bogged down there in that transition and you don't get to the point where you have the A players that you need to help you hit your goals, your owner's pay and profit won't increase because you don't have the efficiency that you need on your team. And one of the areas where coaching is invaluable is that every one of us has our blind spots. We have our Achilles heels. We have our areas where we are too slow to change, even though we know what we're supposed to be doing and what we know will be better for us. For whatever reason, we're on the hook and we're not taking the action we need. And I see this a lot when it comes to our own leadership in the business and in dealing with team members, and having that objective person outside the business who can look in and say, this area here is creating a lot of inefficiency. And the key question is, how long are you willing to tolerate not increasing your owner's pay and profit so that you don't have to deal with this problem. Like, right? When you start thinking about that, that all of a sudden shifts that question of what should I do about this team member? Maybe you have a lot of loyalty to them. Maybe they've been with you for a long time, but they're clearly not the ones that are going to take you where you need to go. When you put it in the context of how long am I willing to tolerate not having the owner's pay and profit because I don't want to rock the boat with this particular person in this situation? Then all of a sudden there's this awareness of, maybe I'm not willing to tolerate this. Maybe I am ready to make that change. And then having a trusted group of coaches to guide you through that process and navigate that transition, because change is scary for all of us. And the other area where I really start to think about how do our own blind spots as leaders start to create inefficiency in the business. Another area where this shows up is we will say yes to revenue coming in. And so we have allowed our businesses to get what I call overweight with a variety of clients and customers and a variety of needs. And we aren't stopping to evaluate, is this revenue that's coming in, is it profitable revenue? And so we end up with a hodgepodge of revenue coming into our business. Some of it's highly profitable revenue. Some of it is not profitable revenue. Some of it are clients and customers that actually cost you to be serving them. And so at that point, when that's going on, it's usually the business owner and the rest of the team is so busy, no one is taking the time to stop, look, listen, and evaluate. And when we come in at Tap the Potential, our second step in the Tap the Potential solution is to niche you down with a clearly defined sweet spot. That means we're going to analyze who are your top clients and who's responsible for the majority of the revenue in the business. And in that simple 80-20 analysis that I share when I take people through the Better Business, Better Life Jumpstart, I point out that 20% of your revenue is coming from 80% of your clients and customers. That's a lot of work that you're doing with 80% of your clients and customers for only 20% of your revenue. And so when you start to become aware of who are your top 20% clients and customers responsible for 80% of your revenue, and you focus your attention on those top clients and customers and how you can serve them better and attract more like them, that's where we have the opportunity to create tremendous efficiency in the business and find ways to increase your owner's pay and profit through creating that efficiency. Because that also means you're going to identify the critical systems for you to put in place and strengthen in the business. It's the ones around the sweet spot. So when you don't have a clearly defined sweet spot, you have a lot of inefficiency because you're trying to create systems all over the place in the business. Oftentimes, you're trying to create systems for the bottom 80% of clients that are only responsible for 20% of the revenue. So if we just take that all out and say, no, focus your attention here, now here's your greatest opportunity for you to increase your owner's pay and profit through more efficiency in the business. That leads us to step 3 in the Tap the Potential solution, which is innovation. You cannot do good innovation if you haven't really done the sweet spot analysis of the business. And let us support you through interviewing your top clients. Let us help you analyze the results that you get from the interviews with your top clients. That's the point. When you have all of that in hand, that's where we have the opportunity to move into step 3, which is to support you around innovation and looking for how do you create greater and greater value for your very best clients and customers who are responsible for 80% of the revenue. And it's through this innovation process where you learn how to differentiate yourself and what your top clients and customers really value the most, and how you can 10x or 100x what they value the most and anticipate their needs. So we all know that as one problem in business gets solved, a new problem is created. Well, this same thing happens for your clients and customers. As soon as you solve one problem for them, they have the next problem. So this past year, in my personal life, I'll give you an example. This past year, We invested in landscaping around our house and I love it. I mean, it's beautiful and I cannot wait for spring so that things start blooming. And I just can't wait to see how it all turns out. And you know what's going to happen in the spring? Weeds, right? So that's our next problem that we have to deal with. And if you're in the landscape business, you want to be thinking around, one step ahead. What else can we do? How do we support our best clients? What new problem is being created for them as a result of the problem we're currently solving? So as you do that and you are really tightening your focus on who you're serving, you're creating opportunities for more revenue to come in through the business and efficiency. And it's that point where we really see the leaps that can happen with owner's pay and profit. Because if you don't do this, year over year, you're kind of stagnating and you're not innovating and you're not creating margin. And this past year is such a prime example of this. If you did not raise your fees if you don't raise your fees every year, you're losing margin every single year because the cost of you doing business goes up and up and up. So you want to make sure that you are not just raising your fees enough to cover inflation. We have business owners that we see coming in to Tap the Potential who just raise their fees just enough to cover inflation, which is great. I'm so glad you raised your fees. But if you didn't think about, well, I need to add team members. I need a higher level team member now. And so I need to figure out how to pay for that person on my payroll. So all of that needs to be planned for, and it's through moving from step 2 in the Tap the Potential solution to step 3, where you start innovating, where you have the opportunity to create the margin that you need to be able to pay and hire and attract those higher level team members for you, but also to continue investing in your own development so that you can continue to grow. Because what's coming next is you've got to learn how to lead this team of A players. And learning how to hire those A players, learning how to lead them, giving them clear results that they're responsible for, teaching them to hold others accountable. So it's not just you holding them accountable and you being accountable for the things you need to do. You got to teach your team how to hold others accountable on the team. So there's all this growth that has to happen. And a lot of times business owners, when you're looking at what you're charging and you're barely breaking even, oftentimes you're not charging enough so that you can grow. And I'm not suggesting to you that you run out and raise your fees willy-nilly. What you need to look at is, how can I add more value so that my best clients and customers happily pay 25% more? And I'm not suggesting you do a 25% increase in fees either. What I am suggesting is that you take on the powerful question of, what could I be doing so that my clients and customers would happily pay 25% more over the next year? And the reason I land on 25% more is just simple math. Because when we use the 80-20 principle, you can replace the bottom 80% of your clients and customers who are responsible for 20% of that revenue that's coming in. You can replace that 20% revenue at the bottom by dropping your 80% of clients and customers that are responsible for it and focusing the majority of your attention on your top clients and customers, so much so that you're adding services for them, you've increased fees, you've added value, and they're happily paying 25% more, while you are also attracting better and better clients who better match your top 20% of clients and customers. That's where you start creating the margin. So that means an updated marketing plan. You can't be doing the same thing you've always been doing, because if you do that, you're just going to get the same types of clients and customers. So it's time to upgrade the marketing plan and to really look at the innovation that's been created, how you're different in your top clients and customers' eyes. And this is where, we try at Tap the Potential to get you to this point as fast as possible, because this is where you really start to feel the momentum coming in and you see that return on investment in coaching. And it also prepares you for that next step, which is hiring those A players that you need for you to be able to grow the sweet spot of your business. So if you want to think about, I want to double the sweet spot of my business this next year, or, I want to 10x it over the next 3 years, then you have to think about, well, what roles do I need to be able to do that? And then as you're hiring, one of the pieces that I think is such a mindset issue around hiring, and it kind of ties to the same mindset issue that comes up around investing in coaching. The thought is, well, I can't afford to hire these A players. Well, can you afford not to, right? When you recognize how much it costs you to have turnover in your business because you haven't hired A players, and that turnover costs are sometimes up to three times the amount of what you're paying someone in wage or salary over the course of a year. And if you have a high rate of turnover, you have just profit just leaking out the back door of the business. And the reality is that most business owners follow traditional hiring practices, which set us up to mishire 75% of the time. And one of the things that I am so proud of at Tap the Potential is with the How to Hire the Best system, our clients are reversing that ratio so that their hiring rate, they go up to 75% hiring right. And so 1 in 4 might be a mishire versus 3 in 4 being a mishire. And every time you use the How to Hire the Best system, you hone it and refine it and you get better and better. So it really becomes this valuable asset in your business to be able to know with confidence that if you're going to hire, that you have a strong chance, up to a 90% chance of hiring an A player who's the right person in the business. And so when you're bringing these A players on, they will be 900 to 1200% more productive than a warm body. So you don't need as many A players on your team, which allows you to pay more per A player on the team. But the other piece of this that is mindset related is not thinking about how much is it going to cost you to pay another team member, but you want to reverse that and look at how does it benefit me to bring on an A player? What can they do for the business that we're not able to accomplish right now because we don't have them on board? And how does it free up my time so that I can put my time and attention on the highest value activities for the business, the $10,000 an hour activities? What opportunities get created from that? And so when you don't have the strong team that you need, you're constantly being pulled back into the weeds, back into the weeds, back into the weeds, and pulled off of your $10,000 an hour activities. And your ability to focus on those $10,000 an hour activities it's a big part of how you recoup your investment in coaching so that you're growing your owner's pay and profit. So I hope by walking you through what we do at Tap the Potential, using the Tap the Potential solution as an example of how you create efficiency as you grow your business, I hope what you're starting to recognize is that, yes, there's an initial outlay of cash when you are moving forward with coaching, but you need to be sure that the program that you're looking at can produce a return on investment for you and do it in a quick enough time that you're able to increase your owner's pay and profit while you're also absorbing the investment in the coaching. And then a final thing that I want to comment on is around how do you pick a coaching program? So one of the things that is really important for any consumer of coaching services to know is that anyone can call themselves a coach. Anyone can create an online program. Anyone can create a website that looks like they have a really solid program. And so one of the things that I would encourage you to look for is a strong track record of results. And I would also encourage you to look closely at the testimonials that are on a coach's website. I was on a coach's website a couple months ago, and yes, they had 20 results-oriented testimonials, and that looked great. When I started looking closely and going through that list, I realized they were repeating. Every third one was repeating, and I thought, those are the same people. That's like 3 people who got results here. So pay attention to that. You also should pay attention to certification. We at Tap the Potential are International Coach Federation certified. the ICF is the gold standard of coaching. That means not only have we invested significant amount of time and energy to get certified in programs like Profit First and Pumpkin Plan that really bring value for what we're doing with our clients, we also invest significantly in developing our coaching skills. And here it's important to know the difference between coaching, mentoring, and consulting. At Tap the Potential, we do a blend of all three. If you hire someone who primarily does consulting, they're going to tell you, here's how to do it. They're going to do some of the things for you, but it's really like, this is the way, you got to do it this way. If you hire someone who's a mentor, they're going to share with you what worked for them. And they're mentoring you based on what worked for them. I've coached enough people at Tap the Potential to know that what works for me doesn't work for everybody that we coach at Tap the Potential. And a coach is someone who will ask you the powerful questions to identify options and opportunities. However, back in my early years when I started coaching, I had a lot of clients who said, just tell me what to do. You always ask me these powerful questions and they're great questions, Sabrina, but just tell me what to do. And so that's where I realized at Tap the Potential, in order for us to really serve our clients, we have to do a blend. And so we have the Tap the Potential solution, which is the guaranteed path to designing your business to be sustainably profitable, to give you more time for what matters most, and to give you more money in your bank account than ever. And we customize every client's path through the Tap the Potential solution based on the results and what you're trying to achieve with your life and aligning what you're doing in your business so that it serves your life. And this is where I can mentor, because I can say, hey, I tried this. It worked for me. We've had other clients who've done it this way. It worked for some of them. And then we've had other clients who did it this way. And that's where we can put forth a buffet of options. And we also recognize that some of the options are going to be unique to you. And we need to support you through asking you the powerful questions, those coaching questions, so that you identify the option that's right for you. And good coaching, and I really make a distinction here because there's a lot of coaching programs that lack accountability. Good coaching creates accountability and holds you accountable for moving forward. And that's what we do at Tap the Potential. We have really doubled down on accountability. And that doesn't mean that we come after you and we harass you. It does mean we pleasantly persist. If you've identified that there's a critical action you need to take and you're not taking it, we're going to come back to it and we're going to explore it. We're going to understand, well, what's keeping you from moving you forward? Is there something in your mindset? Is there something else going on in the business that's getting in the way? How can we support you so that you continue to move forward with the actions you need to take? And then the other thing that we are known for at Tap the Potential is no client left behind. If you stop showing up one day, we're going to call and we're going to check on you. We're going to text you. We're going to find you and we're going to say, what is going on? Because we know that when you're going through a massive transformation, even if it's making things better, it's still change, it's still transformation, and it's scary. We know there are critical inflection points for you in the coaching process where it's tempting to stop. And we don't want to let you stop. If you've identified something that's important for you, so important that you've invested in coaching, and all of a sudden you get scared, you get I'm scared to move forward. I just want to keep things the same. It's more comfortable. When you're in that feeling, we're going to reach out and we're going to support you through that, because we know that that point where the gremlins are the loudest indicates you are on the cusp of massive transformation that's going to impact your business and your life in a very positive way. And so I teach our team that when the gremlins are the loudest for a client, that's when you need to be in there and be of the most support. Don't back off, because we've got to see them through the change. And so if you're evaluating, am I worthy of this investment in coaching, and you know, I could really benefit from that kind of environment where I have that kind of support, and I want that unique blend of expertise coaching and mentoring and consulting, and I'm going to benefit from that, and it's really important to me to shorten my learning curve, then I think you've answered your question, right? And so your next step with us would be to book a call. And when you book a call with us, we're going to take you through that profit audit of your business to make sure that we are confident we can deliver that minimum of a 3-to-1 return on investment. And our goal in that conversation is to decide just yes or no, is this a good fit for you? And then once we have that clear yes or no, then we decide, how are you going to move forward? Some people need a little bit of time to figure out where the money is going to come from, and you need our support to figure out where you're going to pull the resources together to invest in coaching. And so we consider that part of our job is to help you figure that part out. And you don't even pay for that part of the coaching. That's just like, yeah, we want to support you because you're clear that you're going to benefit. So we're going to support you in creating that plan where you are able to move forward. Other people, it's real clear, like, okay, this is the plan. This is how I'm going to make this work. Let's go. I'm ready to go. So that's what'll happen when you book a call with us at Tap the Potential. If you're ready for that, just head on over to tapthepotential.com and book a call with us. And in the meantime, I hope that what I've shared with you today helps you come away feeling like you can be a savvy consumer investing in yourself going forward, and look at ways that you can get a solid return on your investment anytime you are looking at investing in yourself. Thanks for spending time with me today.